Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Sorry, I was making sure that that it was showing on my phone, and of course the volume was up though, so you could see or you could hear me like in double time. But I did want to make sure that everything was good with my microphone. And I have a new camera, and it's a little zoomed in, but that might actually work out amazing. So you guys can see like little details and stuff a little bit better. I just hope I stay in frame because I tend to wander. I know that. How is everybody doing this Friday? I'll give you guys all a second. We can chit chat a little bit. Let me know, like we usually do, either weather or dinner. And we did try a new recipe tonight. We also tried a new recipe last night, and it was awful. Tonight we made Swedish meatballs with frozen meatballs, and the sauce was really good. Although I don't know what Swedish meatballs are supposed to taste like, but it kind of just tastes like stroganoff, like beef stroganoff, but with meatballs. So I don't know if that means we nailed it or what, but who knows? Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started because it is 7:30, and I want to respect all of your guys' time and everything, whether you're watching live right now, which I super appreciate, and hope to chit-chat back and forth with you. So definitely send me a comment as I'm watching the comments come in on both YouTube and Facebook. So I appreciate you wherever you're watching from. But if you're also watching the replay, then shout out to all of you guys as well. And you can always leave me a comment, as I definitely go back and read those and like to respond to them and everything too. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Happy Friday. This is my September 2023 online card class. It is free to watch this card class. This is with the Stampin' Up! Pick of the Patch bundle. So this includes this stamp set here. There are 22 images, and for these 5 cards, we use all of the images except for 3, I think. There's 3 in here. I'm not going to lie, I kind of don't understand the cutie pie. And my husband said it was for the whole like pumpkin pie, cutie pie, but I feel like that's a little far-fetched, so I'm not sure if that's true or not. So yeah, let me know why you think the word cutie pie is in this stamp set. And maybe he's right, and maybe somebody has a better idea. So let me know if you wonder that. And then I actually didn't use the little dots, but those would be cute for an envelope or the inside, like a little background or like decoration for the inside of your card. And then I also didn't use this little sprig, which is also another great like background or inside envelope decoration or something like that. So, but those are the only 3 that we don't. So we're going through a lot of stamps tonight. The coordinating punch is this one here. So you can see how it's got 2 pumpkins. I'm going to try not to get like the glare. So there's 2 pumpkins, there's a stem and a leaf. And yeah, hopefully you're not super getting a glare. Oh, look, there's me. But anyway, we'll play with this a lot, and I'll show you tips and tricks on how to save when you're stamping so that you're punching like in the correct angle, if you will. But yeah, of course, if you have purchased the card kit, the card kit is sold out now. But if you did purchase the card kit, then you can get out the Mossy Meadow card, and we are going to get started on that one. If you would like to stamp along with me, oh, here, wait, I'll save that one. If you want to stamp along with me and didn't get a chance to get that card kit, then you can also purchase the PDF tutorial. And with that tutorial, you'll get all the measurements, color photos, and then, of course, you can cut your own pieces of cardstock. But I do offer, prior to the class, sometimes there's a kit or 2 left over at the time of the class. that I could always mail out after the fact. But usually the kits do sell out, so you'll definitely want to snag those early. And I do have a sneak peek for next month, as I already have it prepared, and I'm super excited about it. But right now, we'll go ahead and get started with this one. So if you have this card and you're stamping along with me, then get out your Mossy Meadow one, and we will begin. Now, I will say, I did a simple version of this card at a class, and everyone said it was the hardest card, and I didn't really understand why. And so then I actually stepped it up a little bit for this class. And whenever I did the in-person version, everyone said that this was the hardest card. So I thought, why not start with the hardest card tonight? I'll tell you what I think the hardest card is at the end, and then you can let me know if you agree. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. So it's very simple, as there's just a Mossy Meadow and 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, and these measure 4 by 5 1/4. And there's a lot of stamping. So that's what everyone said, was that the reason why they thought this was the hardest card is because it's like one card with, like, instead of layers where you can, like, ooh, I made a mistake, I'll flip it over. It's just one piece, and you create this huge scene. And so they all thought that was, very intimidating and difficult. But I got you. We'll be okay. I also am going to re-ink my my pumpkin pie. So if you have never done this before, here's the ink refill. It's just like a little like liquid ink, and like you can see that it's like discolored, if you will. Like there's dark spots and light spots, and that's because a lot of the ink is kind of gone. And you'll notice that as I re-ink it, I'm just squeezing the bottle a little bit and going like back and forth and kind of covering all around. You'll see how it's like dark again. And like you might be thinking like now you're going to end up with like little swizzles in your stamped image. And I'm going to show you how to like help with that too. So one of the things that we'll do is I'm going to grab one of my pumpkins, and I'm actually going to grab my big pumpkin because I want like a big stamped image. And I'm just going to kind of like tap around to kind of like smush, smear, and rub all of that ink in a little bit. And then now it's a little bit more even and it's good to go. Hi, Laura. Hi, Denise. Watching during your Colorado visit. Are you almost ready to move, Denise? I know that you are working towards that. And I keep thinking I need to know when you move so that I have your updated address. Okay, so we're going to start with this oblong pumpkin off to the left. And then we're going to kind of, like, you can really use any of the pumpkins you want. You want to start with the pumpkins on this card and then fill in with the leaves. And you can really add as many pumpkins as you want because there's lots of different sizes, shapes, and everything. And then here's this little bitty one, and he's going to go down there. And I kind of overlapped him a little. See how I have a beautiful orange color with that? Whereas before, I think the orange was a little on the light side because we did a lot of pumpkin stamping this week. Okay, now I'm going to do my stems in the green. This is Mossy Meadow, and there's a lot of different stem options. And I will say, I finally, after stamping like a million times with this set, I finally figured out the best way for this leaf, and now I love it. This little half a leaf, actually the stem has like a little curve that I feel like curves on the pumpkin like perfectly. Not this pumpkin. It actually curves on the biggest pumpkin the best, but this will. And then And then we have this stem. Super cute. One of the other things that I'm going to grab is I am going to grab a Post-it because not every pumpkin needs a giant stem. So I'm going to actually put my little Post-it right here on that little pumpkin. And then I'm going to stamp this down. I don't want that full tall stem, so I want to make sure that I have a little short, cute stem. Hi, Colleen. Okay, it looks like I might have some issues with my YouTube. So I'm not sure if my YouTube is working very well. For some reason, it might not be, but maybe it caught up. Soon. Well, I am definitely keeping you in my thoughts and prayers while you keep house hunting and preparing for the move, because moving is not easy. I know that. Hi, babe. My internet is not good.
Come on, let's go.
Give me a kiss. Love you. Tell all your friends bye.
Bye.
Okay, so now we have our different sizes of stems, but just by using that that Post-it note. And then, of course, we have some fun little squiggles to use too. My mom likes to call these tendrils. I don't know if that's like a real word for them. And she only buys pumpkins with a good tendril. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. And then I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper so that I can punch my center one. So I'm gonna show you, we're gonna use this big pumpkin, and the big pumpkin, I'm gonna use the punch like upside down. Ooh, I have green on my fingers. Okay, we're gonna use the punch upside down and we're gonna stamp first, but since I'm coming in on the left-hand side for that big pumpkin, I wanna punch, or I wanna stamp on the left-hand side with the pumpkin upright. There we go. We line it up and punch. And then, here, I'm gonna do one thing in hopes that this works. Oh, Denise, I'll have to let her know that you said hello. I understand, not whichever you prefer. And then we're gonna get the little face, and I'm gonna use Memento Black and stamp that on the punched pumpkin. Okay. But before we put that pumpkin on, I want to stamp my leaves to fill in on the bottom. Are you guys getting, is it laggy? Or is that just like something I'm seeing? Well, let me know. Hopefully it fixes itself. Don't tempt you. Oh, girl, I could so tempt you, but I'll behave because I know that you're getting ready to move. Okay, so I have pumpkin pie, crushed curry, and Cajun craze. And I have this fun little 3-leaf cluster. And so I'm gonna start with the crushed curry, and I'm gonna stamp it down and stamp again. And maybe like a little, like there in the corner, and a little here, and there. So you can see, I just kind of I did a little bit over here because I kind of want to fill in under these pumpkins, but I don't really want to stamp like all over the pumpkins. And then I just stamped all along. And then we're going to switch to the pumpkin pie. And we're going to kind of overlap just a hair and stamp again. Just for that like little variation in color. And stamp again. And like that. And I'm going to go to the Cajun Craze. And that one, you can tell is a lot darker. And stamp again. And maybe like right there. And there. I think I'm going to stamp off once. And stamp like there, there. I feel like I'm really dark here and really light there. So, hi John, welcome. You've gotten 2 interruptions? Okay, well hopefully it's not much, and we can keep going. Okay, so now we have our bottom done, and we can go ahead and add our pumpkin. So I added the pumpkin with Stampin' Dimensionals, and you guys all know I'm a dimensional overuser, so I'm going to do 3. I could have easily done 4. So tell me, is the weather fall-like in your area? Or are you going through a heat wave like we are here, and it's going to be like 90 to 95 tomorrow? What is up with that? But I do love summer, and I do want to hang on to that. So I think, I'll say that's okay. Okay, so now I'm doing Cajun Craze for my branch. And then I'm going to do the bird in black. So I'll bring back in that memento and stamp my little crow. So we did a lot of building on this one piece, and now it's all set, and we're ready to add our greeting and add it to the card front. I think I'm going to go ahead. No, I guess I don't really need to. I was going to say I'm going to add the greeting first. This is some of that amazing autumn paper. It's so gorgeous. It's got the leaves on the one side, and then it's got that copper foil and mossy meadow on the other side. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to add this to the card front. Whoop. Ah! We're good. I guess I understand why this is the hardest card. Okay, so there we have our card. And I did want to show you, I kind of showed you in the very beginning. I did want to show you, I first stamped the branch in the memento black, and I kind of felt like it looked like the tree was charred. So I went ahead and stamped it with the Cajun Craze. I didn't really want to add another ink pad in. And so, I mean, you could always stamp it in like early espresso, or crumb cake or something like that if you wanted a more brown branch. But I went ahead and stuck with the ink pads that I already had out for this class. So I used that, the Cajun Craze. But yeah, that's what it looks like if you stamp it in black. I also first added a whole bunch of birds, and then it was too many birds, don't you think? So yeah, those were 2 of my my trial samples, and they were not they were no good. I went with something else. Where's my little white strip? Oh, Colleen, I'm glad you were able to come over onto Facebook. I don't know what's up with my YouTube and why it's not working, but I'm glad you switched over here so that you can see me. Hopefully it works better for you. I feel like it might be like stalled out or something possibly, but okay. So I stamped Happy Halloween on this one. You could always stamp You're the Pick of the Patch or any of the other greetings that you would like. So this just goes on this little piece here. And then you can trim this however you want. So I'm just going to do 2 angles. You could always do like banner tips. You could leave it like square. You could do it however you want. And then with this linen thread, I actually just tied it into a really big loose bow like that and stuck it on the back and just added a dimensional right over that knot, and then 2 more, one on either side, sort of securing down those loops. And then this is just going to go right over that paper, and I'm going to trim the tails. That tail doesn't really need to be trimmed that much. And there you have that. And then we're going to add a few of those speckled gems. I don't have a lot of green left on this one, but there are 2. So we'll get out, I feel like there's like a little smudge right here. And so I'm going to cover it with a speckled gem. So I'm just using the Take Your Pick tool. So you can use it like a bulldozer where you sort of just press on the gem. And this one I feel like is wanting to fall off of the adhesive. And push it like a bulldozer. So you don't want to like grab at it straight down, but just push until you feel like it's secure on your putty. And then pick it up. Okay, then we still need to stamp our envelope and the inside, which I just did with a few extra pumpkins. So we're just going to do this pumpkin and the baby pumpkin. Maybe I'll do the baby pumpkin over here. And a little leaf. And a little tendril, just like that. So that is the inside of our card. Like I said, it does take some steady hand stamping because like, which I'll admit, like I hate getting like towards the end and then being like, oh my gosh, I just smudged or messed up and that's like my whole creation. You know, it's like a true like work of art. But if you are a confident stamper or okay with, you know, embellishing to cover up any sort of boo-boos, then this is a really easy card with very, like it's just cardstock and stamping for the most part. So minimal prep or anything like that. For some reason, this one I feel like needs a stem. There we go. So there is card number 1. Super, super cute. Of course, you can add different tendrils and different things like that to the cards. I know there's so many fabulous pumpkins in this set. I super, super love it. And like, I mean, if you guys have been following me for long, you know I'm not really a huge Halloween fan. So I kind of went with this set, which has the Happy Halloween, and it has the cutout pumpkin, but it also has, you know, fall leaves and fall pumpkins, and like, you can kind of lean that way a little bit too. So that card you could have easily done, thanks so much. or it's not in this stamp set, but thinking of you, and used it just as a regular fall card. Okay, if you have the paper pack, then go ahead and get out the one that is, which I will say, I made a mistake on this, and I thought that both of these were copper clay, but if you're wondering the difference between copper clay and Cajun Craze, this is it right here. So copper clay is on top, Cajun Craze is on the bottom. So the one is a little bit more brown, and the other one is a little bit more red. But that's the difference between copper clay and Cajun Craze. Okay. And I actually did not do that on purpose. I just so happened to pull the one, and then I was like, no, they're both copper clay. And I was like, oh, no, they're definitely different. One of them is Cajun Craze. Okay, so for this one, we're going to go ahead. Hi, Teresa. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, Colleen, I'm glad you enjoyed the first one because that's just the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half. And then this layer is crumb cake, and you can actually emboss it however you want. I use on a lot of them, I thought I brought it over here. I specifically thought I did. But on this one, I use the twisted rope. On one of the other ones, the other one that I just finished showing you, I used timeless woven. Oh, geez. Now I've drawn a blank on it. Timeless woven, timeless. I don't know. If you know the name of that, then let me know. Maybe there'll be a prize for that. But yeah. So, like, really, you could use any sort of embossing folder, anything that just gives it a little bit of texture. And whenever I am adding an embossed image to my cardstock, I like to either use dimensionals or tear and tape because I feel like it gets in the grooves of the embossed image really well. And sometimes I do like a little bit of both. I'll do like tear and tape on the sides and my regular adhesive in the middle, or I don't know, just depends on how trustworthy I feel on my cardstock that day. Okay, and this is just gonna go layered right over the top of our card front. And then we have some of that gorgeous paper. Like I said, this is some of that All About Autumn, and it's gorgeous. So you can see there's more of like a picturesque look on the one side, and then there's an amazing copper foil on the other side. And I'm sorry, but I really have a hard time covering up that copper foil. I love the picture sides. The next card you'll see has the picture on it. But I mean, I just feel like the foil is so fabulous. How can you cover it up? So yeah, let me know. Do you have a hard time covering up the foil, or do you like the picturesque like pictures more? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of offset these just a little. I used circle punches on this. There's a lot of different things that you could do. You could use circle dies or circle punches. We used to have the layering circles dies. There's even new deckled circles, which kind of have like a fun rustic texture edge to them. Or you can also use punches. And anyway, just make sure you get like the most out of your designer paper as you can. And then you'll notice that I really use 3 different sizes. There's 2 1/4, 2 1 3/4. And then this one is these two. So you can see like these two are the same size, and then these two are the biggest and the smallest. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stamp our vanilla with our squash, or at least I think it's a squash, right? I almost feel like my crushed curry might need to be re-inked too, but this is the only time we use it, so. Ooh, that was good. And then this one uses Cajun Craze for that little pumpkin off to the side. And then we can decorate these as, whoop, I almost put that in a different color. Hi, Claire. Denise said hello, but you had left last time. You can say hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Enjoy your dinner. And you can watch me again later. So that sounds wonderful. I hope that the streaming on YouTube is working well for you. Okay, so there we have those. Let's add a little loop-de-doo with a tendril. I don't like that one. It loop-de-doos in the wrong direction, I feel like. Time-worn type. Laura, you nailed it. That's right. I knew it had like all those different words, and it was just a combination of some of those. Here, give me a hug, babe. Night-night. I love you. Okay, now we will add this to our Mossy Meadows circle. You could also do this with lots of other images. You could do squares, like overlapping squares, circles, ovals, rectangles, however you wish. And this one I actually added with Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, so there we go. And we'll just add this one down there. And then we have our strip. Oh, this one I had already stamped. So I just took a strip and added a Harvest of Blessing. Or, yes, a Harvest of Blessings. And then just angled it a little bit. These are like, I always have, I don't know about you guys, but I always have strips in my white and vanilla bin of scraps. I can show you the vanilla one because it's a much smaller bin. But like, these are like the leftovers whenever I cut like 4 by 5 1/4, or like this one. I don't know what that piece was, but like these leftover scraps. So these aren't really like predetermined sizes, if you will. It's mostly just whatever scrap that I had. And then that's why, like, sometimes I'm like, I know it's super small, but I can stamp it 500 times until I get it right, because I have 500 scraps right over here. So I'm not that concerned about that. But if you wanted it to be a tighter image or a tighter piece of paper to your stamped image, then you could always do that. If you wanted to stamp a different greeting on this, then that works as well. And this is just going to go flush with the edge over here. And I will also say that everybody's loving this ribbon. And I made sure that all of my classes got ribbon, all my attendees at my in-person and my online, and I ran out of the ribbon. So this card doesn't actually get ribbon. But it is just as fabulous without it. I feel like, the adhesive was showing a little bit. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that everybody else got the beautiful ribbon. And that ribbon is supposed to come back in stock, I think in October. So if you are waiting on it, then Stay tuned. It's coming. Just not yet. I might add 2 more of these. One up there and maybe one over there. I know, isn't the ribbon gorgeous? It's this beautiful copper and it's paired together in the same pack with this. Here, I actually have the spool of the natural. So it's this beautiful copper and then this natural ribbon. Now I have to say I'm not a huge fan of this natural ribbon because it's so thick and wide, but I have seen a couple amazing techniques with it that, I don't know, I'm kind of starting to love it. Okay, and then let's see, the inside of the card is some more pumpkins. So we have that and the envelope just to stamp a few more pumpkins in, or the squash. There we go. And that's the one I've already done. So here is the one without the ribbon. Here's the one with the ribbon. And so you guys can decide which one you like better. I do think the ribbon is absolutely stunning. But I do think it's super fabulous, you know, without it as well. But I do really like the ribbon. It's gorgeous. And then the coordinating envelope. So that's card number 2. Sneak peek back at card number 1. And on to card number 3, which I feel like is probably the easiest one. So this one was actually done with copper clay. As I stated earlier, the copper clay and the Cajun Craze are really close together. That's so true. Male and female version cards. Yep, completely. So this one is actually with the new color copper clay. Like I said, it's a little bit more brown and a little less red compared to Cajun Craze. Really, I think Cajun Craze would work just fine with this card too, as it would just pull out a little bit more of like the red in with the leaves. And you'll notice that the designer paper is a different piece. It's not this piece at all. But it's a different piece, as this is a 3x4. So I got 2 pieces or 2 cards out of one piece of 6x6. But I just wanted to show you kind of how you can get multiple cards out of the one paper pack without feeling like, you know, you needed to buy multiple paper packs just to get that same look. And I always like to maximize my designer paper, which is why I tend to do things like in increments that are divisible by 6. And I know the 4 leaves 2 inches left over, but I use that for an inside piece to decorate the inside of the card to coordinate with the card front. So again, this is an embossed image. This is just 1/8 of an inch smaller than my card base. And thank you, Laura. This is the timeless, time-worn type. I have no clue what it says, but I randomly, like there it says desert, I think, and there it says never and load. But there's like the letter A somewhere that I always seem to find and go, okay, that's right side up. Okay. But otherwise, I have no clue what it says. And that just gives a fabulous texture to the card front. And then we're going to add our, so we actually do cover up that copper foil, even though it's so gorgeous. But we're going to add this to the card front. But before we put that down, we also want to add our ribbon. Now, I will say, I spent way too long worrying that I cut this perfectly straight with no frayed edges. I'm kind of like, I like neat and clean. I'm not really like a vintagey, rusticy, you know, splatters, because I feel like the splatters need to be perfect. Like, I like a stamp that looks like a splatter because then I know what it's going to look like, rather than just randomly splattering something on my own because it's not like determined. So anyway, I did that. I fussed with it. I messed with it. Short, small, you know, and everything forever. The next day I went to like take a picture of this card, and whenever I picked it up, there was like a loose end, and I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And I pulled that and trimmed it, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like the frayed edge. I was like, seriously, Laura, you spent way too long yesterday on that. So just let it go. I'm giving you permission. I'm also coaching myself through this. So I went ahead and trimmed that. And I'm actually going to kind of add my tear-in tape to this rather than to my ribbon, so that I don't have to worry about trying to peel it off the ribbon. And I didn't go like super to the edge because just in case the ribbon does fray a little bit. So I'm going to add this to this end. And keep pressing, keep pressing. And then now we will trim this end. I'm telling you guys, you'd think I was doing surgery the way I'm like holding my breath while doing that. That scares me more than anything else. Okay. And then I even thought, oh my gosh, should I like go take a lighter to it to try to like burn the edges to make sure it doesn't unravel? No, let it unravel. It's fabulous. Don't worry about it. I will show you. Okay. Sorry, I have this piece here. Actually, I have this too. I did want to show you. I saw this amazing trick at an event over the weekend. And they took linen thread. And look, I mean, it's just begging for me to show you guys this. They took linen thread and tied it in the middle. And I'm going to tie it into a double knot, I think, just to be sure. And then, like this, I tried to do banner tips. Again, I spent way too much time on this ribbon. And I didn't like the banner tips. But then I have to get like past the banner tip. And then they frayed the entire thing, and it was pretty cool looking. And she actually, if I want to say, she didn't like fray it from one side to the next. It literally went all the way across, even underneath that knot. And I was impressed. Why is mine not fraying nicely? See, this is why I get nervous. She made it look so easy. Ooh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. And then, like I said, she made it go underneath the knot. Okay, I just pulled too tight because I'm impatient. And then let me get rid of these ends. And I just kind of like rounded them off. But you guys, look at that. Like, look how fun that looks. And then, like, if you were to put, like, a greeting over the top of it, how fabulous is that? I know, the wide one really scared me too, but I really wanted the copper. And I tend to buy double packs, even though I usually don't like one of them. But this one, I'm finding ways to like it. Like, how amazing is that? Another thing that they did was they cut the ribbon in half and then had, like, just a hair peeking out over the cardstock. Like, so, like, they had a hair peeking out over on one side and a hair peeking out over on the other side. And that was super cool, too. So, if you're not a fan of wide ribbon, but you super love the copper, then here's a few ways to use this super wide ribbon. Because, like, there's no way you could tie, like, a bow or a knot with this ribbon because, unless it was, like, on a present. You couldn't do it on a card because it would be huge and, like, thick and chunky and everything. So, anyway, there's a few little tips for how to use that super wide ribbon, and it's so fabulous. Yeah, I can't wait to put that on a card. But anyway, okay. So then we have just this piece of Pretty Peacock, and I am just going to snip, and I'm not going to lie, I felt like I couldn't flip it over and do it again. I felt like I needed to stick with the angle, so that's why I kind of did it like that. And then we'll add this with, oh wait, I have all kinds of layers that we need to add. I put on the ribbon first, one, because I wanted to make sure my spacing was okay. And two, so I can kind of sort of like tuck this underneath. Brad informed me that my my designer paper is offset on the original sample, but I didn't even notice. Okay, then we'll add this with tear and tape as well, which I keep losing my tear and tape. Ah, it's right there underneath all the frazzled mess that I have here. Maybe it's a good thing that my lens is zoomed in more so that you guys can't see my messy surface. Okay. And, you know, this little piece here is perfect for using up scraps of cardstock as well. And then I just have a little punch with, let's see. Oh, I went to go look it up, and apparently I didn't pull this from my stock. But this is the Label Me Fancy, and it's actually retired. But if you need a similar label, the Modern Label Punch, which is new, sneak peek, to the October class. It's fabulous. You need it. You'll use it for everything. Yeah, totally amazing. Okay, and then we're going to do thanks so much. And add that with Stampin' Dimensionals. So who else was oohing and on and had their mind blown with the frayed ribbon? Or the tips and tricks on the ribbon? Because I'm telling you, whenever I saw it this past weekend, I was like, oh my goodness, I love that. Thanks so much. And then we're going to add some of these fabulous jewels. Speckled dots. And then, of course, we have the inside and the envelope, which I really don't know what I'm going to do with the envelope, because the inside, I used this piece, I don't know. Should I use the copper side or should I use the leaves? I think I'm going to use the copper side. Even though it's like vanilla, and so it's kind of like vanilla on vanilla, and I feel like it kind of sort of doesn't show up except for the copper shine. But I still think I love it. And now I don't feel so guilty about covering it up on the front. Well, that's awesome. Okay, me too. I mean, my hand is super raised as well. Okay, and then I don't know, what should we do? Maybe I should do that that one image that I said that we weren't going to use. We should use it. Let's do it, and we'll do it on the envelope. Oh, I love it. Look, now we're down to using 20 of the 22 images in the stamp set. So there is card number 3 with that fabulous ribbon. And this one I did leaves on the bottom from that designer paper. And both of them are super fabulous. And I love that. Oh, love it. Oh, Denise, you actually like that one without the ribbon? See? Sometimes you just never know. Sometimes you add it and you're like, the embellishment totally made it. And then sometimes you leave it off and you're like, hey, it didn't need it. So this is card number 3, 2, and 1. Cast your vote on which one you like the most so far. And we will move on to card number 4. And I will share what I thought was the hardest card as the last one. And then you guys can all let me know, if you're stamping along with me, you can let me know which one you thought was the hardest. And if you're not stamping along with me, then you can guess which one you thought was the hardest. Okay, so this one is the pumpkin pie card, if you're stamping along with the pre-cut kit, or if you have the PDF tutorial. Which if you would like the PDF tutorial, you can go anytime. It's instant download onto my Etsy. So it is LaurasStampPad.etsy.com. And you can snag that tutorial at any time. Here's another one where I'm covering up that foil, but isn't that sweater just oh so fabulous? And it looks snuggly and warm and amazing. But we did have to cover that up, and it does make me a little sad. Okay, this is going on the other side, but I'm going to flip it over, so it's okay. I'm going to use my little grid squares here, and I'm going to do 1 square's worth of Mossy Meadow. And then now I'm just going to add more adhesive to the Mossy Meadow. And then, which really, wow! Really, this could go this direction with the Mossy Meadow on the left or the right. It's whichever you prefer. Okay, so that goes on first. And then we have our 4 little squares. And I'm going to bring in that vanilla because I think I'm going to stamp a little pumpkin there too. And we're going to stamp all kinds of pumpkins. So this one I think is still, nope, I need to clean that. You guys are loving card number 1? Oh, I love it. And you love card number 3. So that one was your favorite. How many of you guys are stamping along with me? And did you think that one was hard, even though it was your favorite? Oh no, I inked that up in Cajun Craze again. I'm glad I looked at it and thought, that seems a little dark. I am actually done with Cajun Craze. And I'm done with crushed curry. So we're going to put those away. And we're going to bring pumpkin pie back out. Okay. Pumpkin pie. How many of you guys love pumpkin pie? Do I love it? Yes, but would I make it around like any time of the year? No, probably not. And then this is a new pumpkin that we actually haven't used yet. It's another like medium-sized pumpkin, if you will. But I do really like pumpkin pie, especially with a lot of Cool Whip. Brad doesn't like it. He thinks it's like baby food. And it's like sloppy. Which he has a point. It kind of is. Where is my stem? Oh, they're over here. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Post-it note, wherever that is, too. In my mess here. I don't know. I was going to grab that little piece of cardstock and use it, but I will say Post-it notes are really thin, so you don't have that like line where it is. So there's our small little stem. Oh, and I find this stem to be quite large. So I kind of like to take it down a notch or two on all of my pumpkins, but that's just me. The little one I almost feel like needs something of a tendril or some little, like maybe I'll just do like a wiggly squiggly down here. You know, like he's in the patch. Just because I feel like he looks like empty. Like that square looks empty. And then we're doing Happy Halloween. Oh, pumpkin roll. Okay, so Colleen, have you ever tried, and I should share the recipe, pumpkin whoopie pies? It's pretty much pumpkin roll, but in like a small little like bite, well, depending on how big you make them. Sometimes they're bite-sized, sometimes they're not. But it's pretty much pumpkin roll in like I pipe my circles, and then put the cream cheese frosting or, you know, mixture in between. So it's like a little like cakey, pillowy amazingness. Oh, it's super fabulous. But I will say it is kind of time consuming with all the piping of the little circles. And then every whoopie pie is 2 of the little ones and then piping of the icing. So it's kind of a lot. But those are amazing. And I love pumpkin roll. And I also have a pumpkin like muffin recipe that I super love. I really like, I'm not a pumpkin spice latte girl, but I really do like pumpkin spiced food, or baked goods, I should say. There we go. Oh, and I already forgot my envelope and the inside of my card. Actually, I want a bigger pumpkin for the envelope. So, okay, I have to ask you guys. I don't know if this is just my aunt, and I don't know where she got it from, but my aunt makes this stuff called, like, and I don't know if this is the real word for it, but she calls it hard sauce that you put on pumpkin pie. And it's really good. Until I found out what's in it, and I'm such a freak. It's actually like uncooked eggs or something. Like, I think you kind of like steam that, like temper the eggs. So like technically they're like, I think, I don't remember. But it's kind of like an egg cream sauce. And it's fairly liquidy, I would say. And you pour that over. So it's almost like a liquidy Cool Whip, but it's not Cool Whip. It's a little bit more like heavy cream-like. Brad says custard, more like a custard. But that is really amazing. It's been years since I've had that. Maybe I should ask her to bring that to Thanksgiving this year. So yeah, let me know if you've ever heard of that or not. I will have to share the whoopie pie recipe. I will try to remember and share it this week on my Facebook page. You guys have never heard of hard sauce? Maybe I'll have to share that recipe too if I can find it. Or ask my aunt, like, if it's like a crazy family thing that I don't know about. Oh, wait, I do have this little strip of sweater. And the reason why I'm kind of still holding this is because this is too long. So I have to trim it off. I thought it probably was. It could have gone fully like top to bottom. That would have been okay, but okay. So this goes here. But wait, there's more. Oh, I thought I got something on my envelope as I just about tossed it into the ink pad. We have to do our little leaves. And that is this little dude. And we're going to bring back in that punch. And I'm going to find like a little strip. Nope, that's not going to fit. A little thicker strip. And I'm going to stamp this like towards the bottom. And then slide this all the way down here. And this is almost like our little embellishment, because I'm going to add that just with a little mini glue dot to the corner by our greeting. And my mini glue dot like folded over itself, so I'm going to add another mini glue dot. And actually, I added a mini glue dot with a little leaf on the inside of this one. So in the instructions, it says to do 2 leaves. You could also just stamp the leaf, but if you wanted to punch it out, then you could for a little extra texture. But then there you have. I really like that I added this. This little, like, in the patch sort of look for the little pumpkin. I feel like it just helps. And see how this one's super tall? Like, I feel like it's too tall. And I like it, like, trimmed down a little. And this leaf, this is the one that this leaf, like, fits over perfect on the little Humpty Hump. And it looks super cute with. Although I really like that one. Here I am, like, judging back and forth on which one I stamped, like, the best. So crazy. But this one's got the little pumpkin and the sweater. And this one's got the leaf. That's why, like, there's so many, like, little greenery pieces, and I'm just like, I don't know which one I want. So that is card number 4. And then we have 3. And then we have 2. And we have 1. Ooh, yes. I think it does have whiskey in it, or some sort of alcohol. Maybe that's how it cooks the eggs. Something like that. Denise, do you know what I'm talking about? Or are you just trying to guess how we're cooking eggs? Oh, Colleen, I'm glad you found the Post-it note tip really handy. Okay, so this is the final card. And this is the card that I thought was going to be the hardest. But apparently it wasn't, so I guess I'm being stumped. So I did that same embossing folder for this one on that background piece. Oh my goodness. Guys, look at this. Here is my tear and tape. The scissors are dangling from all of that. Like, just be warned that if you fray your ribbon, it will make a mess. A big mess. It almost looks like I don't know, like killed a bird or something, because there is literally like little foofies everywhere. No birds were harmed in the making of this video. It was ribbon. But it's true, if you don't make a mess while you're crafting, did you really even craft anyway? Okay, so this piece is going to go on our very vanilla. Let me find that letter A. Ooh, I found the word harvest. And it is right side up, so I know that we're good. Okay, so this is actually our card base. And then we have this piece of Lost Lagoon, and it is scored. So we're going to go ahead and fold on those score lines. And get our bone folder out for that nice strong crease. And the small little pocket down here, this one is going to be your pocket. This one is going to be your top flap. Let me show you the card. See how the designer paper is like hanging? Which tip, make sure you don't add adhesive to all of that front piece, because otherwise you're going to seal your card shut. And this is actually a little pocket. I used to have some cash in there for some photos, but I took the cash back out. Probably better safe that way. All I have is vanilla to like tuck down in there. But see how it's a little pocket. You could put some money in there, a note. You could put a gift card, whatever you would like. So what we're actually going to do first is we're going to go ahead and put this on our card front. And where is my tearing tape again, except for the one that looks chaotic? Well, here, and then this one is out. So all I have is that little piece. Ta-da! I have a brand new roll. And this is huge. I kind of like the next time I need it. Okay, so now this is going to go in the center. Hopefully you guys are all still with me for just a little bit longer. And then this piece, I do want to make sure that you notice that this is 3 by 2 3/4, and I don't want it to go like this. Which, like, it could. You could just, like, center it the other way. But I want that nice even measurement all the way around. The vanilla goes down only part way. So, like, I would want this, like, lined up with that orange across the top. And it does sneak up under this lip just a little bit. So when you go to stamp your pumpkin, you definitely don't want to stamp at the bottom of the vanilla. You want to stamp at the bottom of the little flap. And then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to stamp the Lost Lagoon with the little tendril. Because the tendril is going to fall off, so we don't really want our ink to get onto the Lost Lagoon cardstock. So you can see our pumpkin is technically kind of floating up there, but that's because of the pocket. Hi, Shelly. It's okay that you're late. You can always watch the replay, and of course you still got to see me before I finished, and more important, I got to see you and your comment. I know, aren't these colors gorgeous? Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, and Pumpkin Pie. Who would have thought that those colors would look so fabulous together? And then now I'm going to use tear and tape just on the outer edges to seal our little pocket. Now, if you choose not to use tear and tape, that's perfectly fine. You could also use like a little mini glue dot on the two corners. The one thing is you just want to make sure that you are staying on the outer edge. The other thing is you want to make sure that you're putting it on the lip and not here because you don't want to go up too high. So we're just going to peel this off. Hi, Jenny. Welcome. Claire's already in bed, but she would love to say hi to you, I'm sure. So excited she gets to see you 2 Fridays in a row. So there we have our little pumpkin and our inside with our pocket for our, like I said, you could do it for a business card. You could do money, a note, a little tea bag, or a gift card or anything like that. And then now it's time to decorate the front. So on the front, we're going to add this designer paper, which does nicely border this. But remember, we only want to adhere it to the top half. So one of the ways that I like to do just the top half like that is I add, the other thing is this print doesn't matter, but I like to determine the pumpkins. So do I want that pumpkin showing or do I want that pumpkin showing? I think I'm going to go with this one because I like the multiples. It doesn't really matter because no one's probably really looking at it. So now this is the way I want it. So I'm going to flip it over like this. And this is the way to add adhesive to something to get nice coverage, which I actually don't need to use tear and tape because this is going on a flat surface. But I add it to the top of this piece of designer paper, so I know it's at the top. And then I add it to the bottom of this lip. And that would be like adding it to the top and the bottom of this. And you could always add a little dab in the middle too if you wanted to. Like I said, I don't really know why I used tear and tape because I didn't really need to. But sometimes a whole card with tear and tape isn't a bad thing either. So now I'm going to line up those bottom edges and just lay it down. And then now I know that it's secure on the top and it's secure on the bottom right here without being like, oh, I put the adhesive too high, too low, or whatever like that. So I hope that was a good tip for you guys as well. Oh, Shelly, I'm glad you liked that. I will give her a morning hug, Jenny, for sure. Okay, and then now it's time to decorate the front. So again, we have those circle punches. You can use punches. You can use, you could really use any sort of layering image. You know, you could use a layered punch. You could use layered dies. I use circles. So I have Pretty Peacock and Very Vanilla. And I am going to, we're going to have to start cleaning some of these stamps because I'm using funky colors now. I am using Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, and Pumpkin Pie. So we are going to stamp this oblong pumpkin in the Pretty Peacock to the right-hand side of our circle. And then we're going to get the tendril that I already stamped once in the blue. And now I can't even find it. Ah, there it is. Right? It's blue. Yeah. Lost Lagoon. So we'll add this. I'm going to take it off the Pretty Peacock just in case for some reason I fall off my cardstock. Okay. That's the only one that we're stamping on there. So we can go ahead and add this to the Pretty Peacock and add this to our card front. Making sure to leave room on the bottom for that greeting. Okay, and then now the other two pumpkins are actually going to be punched out. So, that's for our greeting. We are going to do this funky pumpkin. And this one, we actually want to stamp it sideways. And since it's on this side of our punch, then I am actually going to stamp it on this end of my scrap. So I punched on the end, I punched it sideways, and then this way I am reducing the amount of waste in my scrap or the amount of shrapnel that's flying at me. And then now I can just flip this over. I'm going to need a new pair of scissors because that other pair is shrapnel inside there, enough to be able to trim this off. Okay, so I trimmed that off. And then now we're going to do the orange one on this end. And that's going to go up and down. Here it is. I feel like I don't normally lose stuff so much, but I guess I just don't normally have this many stamps out at once. It's usually like a stamp set of like 6. Not tonight. We have 20. And punch. Another tip, in case I've never mentioned it before, I like to use my punches upside down. I like to kind of use my hand here as my guide and line up the image in the punch and squeeze just enough that I can let go with this hand and come over and punch as well. So like I've squeezed it just enough that it's like secure, and then I can let go. And then I can come and I can punch with 2 hands. Okay, and then we also need some early espresso. And again, this is just like a little scrap piece that we're going to punch on that top little punch there. And we need 2 stems. Okay. Oh, you totally need Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. They are a stunning set of colors. Like, they just, they go together so well. They're great for Christmas, but also, I mean, they're always great. But I find them to be really good for, like, winter. And with fall and winter upon us, then you definitely need these, Shelly. Okay, so I just put a little mini glue dot on the back there to add our stem to our pumpkin. And this pumpkin is going to be put on flat. So this one's just going to go like kind of next to that, that Pretty Peacock. And then this one I'm actually going to put on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to flip it over, add our stem, and I'm going to place a dimensional right over the top of that stem to secure it all together. So Google knew what it was talking about with that, with the hard sauce. Well, I'm glad you were able to find it on Google. It's Lost Lagoon. It's actually one of the old colors that, that came back again. So Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock are actually old colors that came back again as returning favorites. And then this one is going to kind of go right here with those dimensionals. Okay, and then now we're just going to stamp You're the Pick of the Patch in Pretty Peacock. And on this itty little piece. And yes, I know, it's really little. Really, really little. So we say a little prayer, stamp, and know that we have another little bitty scrap somewhere. Yeah, that's not good. I totally fell off the bottom. Okay. Nailed it. Ooh, that one's really good. Watermelon Wonder. Yes, I do remember that color. Although, how far off? I always feel like, all the colors really look like another color until you put them next to each other. Kind of like Cajun Craze and Copper Clay that we found out this evening. But how far off is Sweet Sorbet from Watermelon Wonder? Would that one suffice for your Watermelon Wonder love? Perhaps. Okay, and that's just going to go right on the bottom there. Super cute. Oh, we forgot our envelope. How dare we? You know what? I think I'm going to do all of the pumpkins. I'm going to do the big orange pumpkin, and I'm going to do the Lost Lagoon pumpkin. And then I'm going to do the, this one I think I'm going to do on the other end. The Pretty Peacock pumpkin. And there you have it. So there is the pick of the patch with our cute little pumpkins in those crazy colors. Who would have thought pumpkin pie, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock would look so fabulous together? But here we have it. This is card number 5. And card number 4. Here, I'll have to consolidate them a little bit to make sure that we can somewhat see all of them. Card number 3. Card number 2. And card number 1. Definitely let me know in the comments below which one your favorite one is. And don't forget that I still have the PDF tutorial. So if you want all the measurements and all the detailed information about this class and the cards that we created tonight, then you can download LaurasStampPad.etsy.com, or you can check out the link in the description below, and you can get that tonight and start stamping and working on these cards yourself. You can always many months for sure. So thank you guys so much for stamping along with me. I'm sorry about the internet connection that we've had with the little blips here and there. I hope it wasn't too hard for you guys. And definitely give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!